And without having a clear understanding of who we're talking to, you'll always find yourself wondering and trying to figure out, how do I make this happen? How do I help this? How do I help this audience? Or nobody's being attracted to me, or nobody wants what I have, or nobody's commenting, nobody's responding, nobody's replying back to my DMs. The reason is because you don't have a clear audience. And without a clear audience, you will always find yourself struggling to get clients. It's just a fact, right? So you got to get clear on who you're helping, but you can get clear, and I'm gonna share that today, on who you're helping without excluding the world. Some questions, right? What are some questions that you really want to ask yourself if you're saying, okay, I feel like I'm confused between a few different niches? What are some questions? I'm gonna give you a few of them. I'm gonna give you a few of them today. All right. So the very first question I want you to ask yourself is, what do I have expertise in? What area do I have expertise in? What area do I have expertise in? Write that down. You want to ask yourself that, because that is credibility, right? If you have expertise, usually expertise is some type of skill. So you want to say, okay, well, what area do I really have skill in, right? If you have skill, like I have skill in sales, I have skills in marketing. I have skills in social media. I have skills in, being able to being a public speaker. I have skills in being a coach. I got a lot of skills, right? These are skills that I know that if I was teaching somebody these areas, that I will feel confident and comfortable teaching them, because I have skills. So you have to really ask yourself, what area of expertise do I have, right? Question number 2, what experience can I help somebody through? What experience or experiences can I help somebody through? What experiences can I help somebody through? So a lot of times you might say, well, I'm a life coach, or I'm helping people with trauma, I'm helping people with mindset. Well, guess what? The reason you're helping them with that is because you feel like there's a certain level of experience that you have and that you went through, and that's going to allow you to be able to help somebody else with that. I'm gonna help them get through that experience because I've been through divorce, because I've been through because I've been through abuse, because I've been through whatever. Okay, I have the experience and I made it through. Look, I'm in one piece. I made it through. I want to help other people who are currently going through it. I want to be able to pull them through too. That makes sense? So you want to be able to do that, but you got to ask yourself just the right questions, so you know what experiences you're going to use. You want to know what stories you're going to use. So you really have to ask yourself. Ask another area. And these are some things you might not, all of these may not be exactly the same, but these are some things that are really get you really thinking, right? I would say, what topics am I passionate about? It's another question you can ask yourself. What topics are you passionate about? Think about that, right? So if you're passionate about it, that means that you're willing to really talk about it. I was talking to a lady earlier this week, and she was just like on a call, and she was just kind of like just telling me how she's going to help her client, and this is what she's going to do, and this is what people need to learn, and oh my God, if they had this and if they knew this. And she was literally giving me a master class on this phone. And that's what I told her. I said, wow. I said, you just gave me a master class. You gave me a whole seminar on this call. And she's like, yeah, I know. I just get so excited about it. And that's the place that you want to be, because you will be talking about it a lot. Like, you in this coaching business, you're gonna be coaching people a lot on these topics. You're gonna be speaking to people a lot on these topics. If you saying I'm not really a people person and I don't really like people, you might want to reconsider you doing this, because this is a people business. You're going to be speaking to, if you're going to be a coach, you're going to be coaching people. You're going to be having conversations, right? So you want to have a love to help people to do this. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't know what you're passionate about, and you don't know the topics you're passionate about, I had one lady who, she's been through an experience, and it was just like a traumatic experience, and it was like abuse, etc., etc. And although she had the experience to help people through it, when she asked herself this question about being passionate, She was like, but I don't know if I'm passionate about talking about this all the time. Passionate about coaching people through this all the time. That's why asking these different questions are important, because you really want to be able to, because that's really going to allow you to say, okay, this is something that I really feel comfortable teaching people. Does that make sense? Right? There's a bunch of other questions you can ask yourself, but I give you one. What area do I have education in? What area do I have education in? Maybe there's maybe there's something that you've learned. Maybe there's a place that you've gained knowledge, you've gained expertise in, and you want to be able to teach that. If I really wanted to, and I actually, so right now I work mainly with coaches in terms of like helping them build up their business to 6 and 7 figures. But also, if I wanted to, I can also teach on project management. Now, there was a point in time where I changed my niche a couple of times too. So one of my niches was productivity and like time management. But I leaned on, at that time, I leaned on some of the knowledge and some of the education that I got from college, from my master's degree, my master's program. And I used some of that in terms of building my curriculum and my training when I was teaching people. So what do you have education in? Are there certification programs you took? Are there degrees that you got? Are there, books that you read? Are there, coaching programs you joined? I don't know. You tell me. But maybe it is something that you've learned intellectually that you can pull on some of that and say, okay, I want to be able to use this and teach it to you. You find what I'm saying? Like, these are things that's like, it allows. So those are the questions you really, really want to ask yourself, and that's what's going to allow you to take this thing to the next level. Now, I know that there's some folks, we always got folks who are like, yo, I'm ready. Like, this is the time. I want to take this thing to the next level. Like, what do I need to do? You know what I mean? So let me give you some insight on really how to really like use this and take this to the next level. One, apply this and really get clear on your niche and your audience, right? And then second, you gotta become a better version of yourself. And if you spoke to me before, I talked about that all the time. And you gotta have proven strategies. That is what a coach is gonna be able to do for you, right? So if you're in a place where it's like, yo, I'm willing to get the help, I'm ready to get the coaching, like, yo, let's move, let's make this. I want to make sure that you're clear on what you need to do, whether it's identifying your niche and who you want to help, to who your core audience is, to how you build a fan base. How do you put together a coaching curriculum? How do you get clients? Whatever it is, ask the questions, right? And just go ahead and put mentor me in the chat, so we can jump on a call and we can show you exactly what you need to do, right? And that's how I started. I started with not really knowing anything at first, and then I'm like, okay, well, let me try to figure this out. And I'm looking at all of this free information online, and it was confusing me more than it was really setting out a solid game plan. You know what I mean? And by the way, this isn't a sales call. This is literally just a value call to kind of see where you at, ask some questions, give you some feedback, and then in the process, if we see that you are a fit and you do qualify to work with us, because you have to qualify to work with us. If you do qualify, then we can have a discussion, really talk about what does it look like coming in the program, right? But this is not even that type of call. This is really seeing how we can help. What questions do we have? I'm gonna give y'all some examples of some of the type of questions that I get when it comes to identifying your niche audience. And but if you have any particular questions, just go ahead and put your questions in the comments below. All right, so I'm gonna give you some ideas, and drop your questions in the comments. So some people ask, okay, well, I'm confused between niche A and niche B. Which way should I go? Usually people ask that. Usually people ask, this goes along with creating like your program. So it's, what should my program be about? What should my program consist of? People usually ask in terms of just in terms of their niche. What if I want to pivot? What's a good way to pivot niches? We get some people who we have had many clients like that, right? Where they was focused on one audience, one niche, one topic, and then something changes, or they got an epiphany and they said, I want to work on this topic, or I want to work on this niche, right? And well, how do you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the process of switching niches? So I'm giving you some examples of some of the type of questions that you can ask. If we don't have any questions, then we're gonna go ahead and